What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is, who can I call? We're always trying to find out who can help us. So how often do we need that help or feel that we need help and unable to call them because we're ashamed and we make ourselves small and unable to do something? How often we would like to call someone and how often we don't call someone, trying to be independent. So let's play with those ideas. And knowing me, it's about magic everywhere. Abundance is everywhere. What if we can tap into the abundance and start creating it in our lives, especially with total ease? What if it's much easier than we think? What if it's about being and not doing? So being a medical doctor, I kind of like tried a few things in my life. Became a medical doctor, was family physician, had my own practice for 10 years. After that, decided to have a major surgery, couldn't work, became an artist, was searching for ways to help me, and eventually I did find Access Consciousness, Akashic Records, and became a radio host. Well, now it's a TV host because we are on the video now. How does it get even better than that? So let's talk about help. And when we make ourselves small, when we make ourselves kind of pathetic, and yet there is two reactions to that. Sometimes we call someone, and usually, I like Mark Twain quote, we ask for advice only in two situations. One is to do the opposite, and the second is to blame someone. So with help, it's kind of the same thing. I know with me, I would not call anyone. It's not when I was feeling bad, not when I was in a kind of like situations where it was a problem, because I decided I can solve any problems on my own because I'm so independent. Do you know people like that? Or you are one of them? So that show is probably for you, or for somebody that you might send that video or audio to someone. With everything that's going on in the world right now, with COVID and stresses, people cannot even go out together and help each other in the way that we used to. So it's even more pertinent right now, I think, to know what you know. What if you actually know more than you think you do? What if it's about not so much being independent or being dependent or being pathetic or being great or being all powerful or not have power at all? What if it's about choice in the moment? What if it is about actually looking at the energy, being aware of what's required, and allowing people to contribute to you, allowing universe to contribute to you? What if it's about contribution, not help? I never knew the difference because I grew up in a world where it was give and take. you give somebody and you receive back exactly the same amount. There was mostly about judgment. How much they give me, or they gave me too much, I need to give back. All of that is totally, totally kind of like not helpful, because you have to judge everything you do and everything other people do for you or about you. It's it's probably hard to explain the difference of give and take and contribution, and yet it is simple. With contribution, it's gifting and receiving simultaneously. As you receive, so you gift. So when we are in a give and take situation, we put up a lot of barriers to receiving. We actually not receive. We take, but we do not receive. A lot of it doesn't go in. So with the topic, who can I call? It's literally about getting out of that judgment, getting out and becoming more vulnerable. Because in that situation, when you're actually in a space of being, in being aware what's in front of you, what's going on in your life, instead of I'll do it myself, is that a question? No, it's a conclusion. Or, I need help. I will call on somebody. Again, a lot of it is a conclusion. What if it's about asking question? Who can I call? What else is possible here? And a lot of times that person might actually call you. That would be cute actually. I a lot of times when I just ask question, the universe shows up and brings the person or thing or information exactly what I need. So what if you just start asking questions instead of going to conclusion, or the problem is insolvable, or I can do that? Would you be willing to open up to what universe, earth, and other people actually can show you and be with you? Let's talk a little bit about receiving that. For me, for years, I was struggling with receiving. I had no idea what receiving was. Until one day I heard Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, talking about it, that receiving is just a choice. It's a choice about having awareness, about knowing, about being. What if it is about being with no boundaries, no boxes, no limitations, and just be in the question and be the question? Doesn't matter what question is, except not using conclusion as a question. So let's do something. Let's look at who we are. Doesn't matter if we're playing a victim role, if we're playing one of those people that all powerful and I don't need anybody. By the way, when you say I don't need anybody, that includes you. That you don't need you as well. You're excluding you and your body out of the equation of your life. What if you don't exclude anyone? What if you can ask, who can I call now? And that might be actually you. You might call yourself and ask, what can I contribute today? to myself. And let's play with that idea. And some people might say, oh, that's selfish. How can, you contributing to yourself? What about everybody else? I know. I grew up with the notion that you have to take care of everybody else. And then you might contribute to you. Interesting. It's on the airplane when they do the safety check. What do they tell you? In cases of emergency and the oxygen drops down, who do you put the oxygen mask on first? On somebody else or on you? On you. Because that's important. Because if you are not helping you, there is no way you can help anybody else. You put the oxygen mask on your face first, and then you put it on the child. Because if you're out and hypoxemia hits you, you pass out, you cannot help anybody else. What if it is the same in your life? What if you start taking care of you first? Asking questions about what will contribute to me in this 10 seconds, or who can contribute to me in this 10 seconds, and then I can contribute to somebody else. Wow. What the notion? Not being selfish, not being, it's about actually being present with what required. That's why the show name is Who Can I Call? And number one person who you can call on is you. Let's start with you. And this is time for our first break of the show. I'm not kidding you. We actually have 3 breaks for commercials, for giving you time to breathe or go to the bathroom. And you've been listening to me, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Creating Abundance with Ease on the Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Helen helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. And this is Dr. Helen Gitlevich and Inspired Choices Network on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is, who can I call? And before the break, we were talking about contribution, receiving. So let's continue that conversation. What is contribution? What is receiving? What is gifting? It's about, all of it is about being. But we forgot what is being. We are in the mode of doing. And a lot of times that gifting, receiving, giving, taking, it's more about doing and proving. And especially with give and take system, it's about proving the rightness of you. I gave you more. So, or if I gave something, oh, you have to give me more. All of it is based on not a contribution, not something that creates more, but creates less. Because all of it is limitation. All of it is another box, another kind of like barrier to what we can receive. Because with universe, let's talk about universe always gifts and receives simultaneously, the same as nature. There is no judgment there. There is no kind of like, oh, I gave you an apple, like the tree. Let's talk about the tree. The tree. I gave you an apple, so you have to give me what? No, you're just being there and eating that apple, receiving that apple, eating the fruits, eating or being present with nature. It's a gift in itself for the nature. Nature doesn't expect you to give something unless you desire to, unless you would like to compost or you would like to recycle. Nature doesn't have a judgment. Nature just is there, and we can receive it again with no judgment. Somehow with nature we can do that. With people, not always. Why is that? Part of it, I know, with everything that's going on in the world, before, after, it's about judgment. It's about points of view. It's about what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad. All of it. All of it is kind of like the lenses that we put, the glasses we put on. And then those glasses have colors in them. Sometimes dirt, sometimes the mud, and looking through all that brown, sometimes shit. Because we all have different experience. We all went through, some of us more hellish experience than others. And yet we all here, and we are unique with our experience, with our looks, with our bodies, with everything. And so all of that has coloring to it. Nature doesn't have that. Nature just is. So what if we be more like nature and give up our judgments and give up that proving the rightness that I have the right to receive, or I have the right to give, I have the right, or the wrong. Yeah, it's kind of like both. It goes both ways. It's about being right when we are wrong, or being wrong when we are right. All of it is not receiving. All of it is creating pretty much hell on earth. Right now, I just noticed that Good Place season 4 just came out on Netflix. And the first time I watched the season 1, like, what was it, 3 years ago when it came out, or 4 years ago when it came out. And it was like, wow, how much of, because that was kind of like, for people who didn't watch it, I'm not going to go into what it is all about. But the idea is that we create our own hell with all our points of view, with our limitations, the way we brought up. And that limits our receiving, that limits our contribution. It's about choosing to get out of that system. Let's just do one thing. Let's drop our barriers. And you don't have to drop your barriers forever. No. Just for, let's say, next 5 minutes before the next break. I think next break is coming in about 8 to 9 minutes. So just for 10 minutes, drop your barriers. It's not going to kill you, trust me. Just be with it. Drop your barriers, just ask them, barriers down, barriers down, barriers down, and let's expand. Let's expand, let's say, what? Maybe a mile or kilometer, wherever you are, whatever system you're using. If you're in metric system, it's a kilometers or maybe a couple of kilometers. And if you're in the States or in England, it's a mile. And just expand a mile in all directions. Up, down, sideways, front and back, kind of like a sphere, and go into earth like that. And now expand 10 miles, 10 kilometers, 1,000 miles, 1,000 kilometers, and believe me, you're doing it. Don't even think, just go. 1,000,000 miles. And just from that space, 10 million miles, 1,000,000 miles, million miles, trillion miles, in all directions. And from that space, look at what you're creating in your life with the judgments. Look at if you're willing to call someone or you're not willing to call someone. And by the way, calling someone, you don't have to call for help. What if it's about creating more in their lives? What if by calling them and just saying, hi, I'm here for you? What if that will change the situation for them and you? And that's a contribution that I'm inviting you to. Being the contribution. Okay, how many of you contracted? Keep expanding. And as I talk, you keep expanding even more. Keep expanding. And then just see one molecule, just choose one molecule in your body or outside your body that is willing and ready to change. Just pick one molecule. And you can find it in the millions of miles in that sphere of you, your being. Just find one molecule, maybe in your body. And flip it. Just change the polarity. Like this. And find another one. And keep expanding. I know it's a little multitasking. But what if we can multitask? What if that is our gift of contribution, to multitask in the universe of contributing and gifting and receiving simultaneously? What if contribution is the multitask ability we all have? So let's flip the molecule to create more of the contribution in the world. What if consciousness doesn't judge of what we do or don't do? What if it is about being? Just one molecule, one more, just one more. And just flip it. Like this. Cool. Do you want to do one more? Okay, one more. But not more. And by the way, you can do it anytime. This exercise you can do in the morning when you're in a bad mood or in a good mood, when you are down or up, doesn't matter. And by the way, all those down and up, they're other judgments. And how much are those not even yours? So let's find another molecule that we can flip and change polarity. Whew, love that. And just be there, be in that space, and look at your life. Now that we've changed a few molecules in your life, in your body, does it look the same? Or everything looks different now? What if it's that simple? What if it is about changing and shifting whatever is not working for you? And just flip molecule one or atom. Maybe not even a molecule, maybe just one electron. And just flip it or change it, and things are different now. And expand again, expand again, expand again. And just ask now from that space, who can I call today? Who can I contribute to? Doesn't have to be about asking for help for you or helping them. What if it is about just being and receiving contribution that might not even look or feel like it normally wouldn't feel for you? Just choose. Just be with that. Be in that space. You can close your eyes. You don't have to close your eyes. But in that space, can anybody harm you? Can anybody kill you unless you allow it? And let's just be with that. And it's time for our second break of the show. And by the way, when we go on a break, you don't have to stop the exercise. And you don't have to stop exercise when the show is over. And you've been listening and maybe watching me, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Creating Abundance with Ease radio show on Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time.
This is Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is, who can I call? Because a lot of times we were talking about before on contribution, receiving, and gifting. I remember being in one of the classes of Gary Douglas, I think it was 7 days. And one person was kind of a little rude, a little obnoxious. And at some point, he asked a question. He's like, I'm so bored in the class. And I remember Gary kind of looking at him and, are you contributing? Are you actually contributing to other people? Because if you are contributing, you cannot be bored. And that hit me real hard, because the only time when a person can be really bored, when they are not doing something that they like. But what do we all like? We all like contributing. We all like being helpful, being kind of like empathy, sympathy, compassion, and help, kind of like a lot of times in this world is pretty much badge of honor. But what if it's not about that? What if it's about actually being the contribution in the world? And the only way to contribute is to be conscious and being aware of what that person can receive. When we go into conclusion, oh, we need to help that person, a lot of times that's not helpful, because there is a Russian expression, I'll catch up with them and I will really give them my help over the head. And it doesn't translate very well, but it's pretty much creating the harm with the help. Because a lot of times those people, they're not willing to receive help, especially if you're forcing the help on them. It's more about being in the question, what create the most here? What can I contribute to that person? And instead of like automatically, oh, they are in bad situation, so I need to help. What if we ask, what contribution can we be to that person? And maybe sometimes contribution can be just listening and being with them and just saying, yeah, I get that. I totally get how bad it is. Maybe that's all they need at the moment, because they chose that situation maybe in the milliseconds of unconsciousness. And if we are in total allowance of their choice, maybe they can choose something different. Maybe then they can ask for that help that we're willing to give. Because it has to be both ways. It has to be with them willing to receive and us willing to give. Because sometimes people ask for help and we're not willing to give it. And what if it's not a wrongness? What if it's about choice? Choosing how we can live our lives, choosing how we be in the world, how we interact with other people. And what if we kind of like give up our boredom and upset? Because I found out when I am in a space of contribution, when I'm contributing, when I'm doing the radio show, Well, I'm not sure how many people it contributes to, and yet I know to some people it does, and I know it contributes to me the most, because a lot of things that I say here, I need to hear. It's all about me. I know I'm selfish because anytime when I contribute, I receive the contribution back. That's what I call being selfish. Being, it's about being in the world and creating more of consciousness. Because I'm taking a class with Gary Douglas right now, the 7 days, and he was talking about reason to live, to live your life. And to me, it's about creating or being contribution and creating more consciousness. So that's the selfish part of me. I'd like to contribute. The more people I can contribute, the happier I get. So how many of you actually refuse to contribute because you're still in that give and take scenario where you're still in judgment? If you give too much, you're not receiving. Because when you give and give and give and give, that's not working. Because I've done it all my life pretty much up to last few years. I was giving and giving and giving and giving, but I wasn't receiving. And part of it wasn't because people were not giving to me, because I was not receiving. It was more, again, about me, because I was in the mode of giving. And it's kind of like one-way street. You give, or you close that, and now you receive. And then you close that, and then you give. There is no simultaneity. When there is a contribution, like even with that show, I'm gifting, but I'm receiving as well, because I don't close anything. I'm expanded. So contract for a second and put the barriers up. How does it feel now? Not comfortable anymore. And now expand. Drop your barriers and just be with that. Be with that notion. Be with all of it. Be with the universe. And allow yourself that question. Who can I contribute to today? Earth, what can I contribute to you? Universe, what can I contribute to you today? And it's about shifting and changing your perspective on what's right, what's wrong, what's good and bad, what is selfish, what is not selfish. Because when we are in that judgment, it's kind of like the boxes. Think of it as a box. Anytime we judge something, if it's right, if it's good, if it's bad, it's another box that we put ourselves in, that we put whatever we are doing in. So let's just forget about the boxes and just follow the energy of gifting and receiving simultaneously. Just allow yourself to be that space that everything goes in and out. Because when you're expanded millions of miles out, how much can you gift? Can you actually get depleted when you're in that space? No. And how much can you receive in that space? Because there is no outflow or inflow. It's all flowing simultaneously. And actually, you can receive a lot of money this way. You can receive a lot of love, lots of gratitude, and you can gift lots of love and gratitude. So let's actually pull some energy into our body. let's pull energy of love and gratitude and allow it to go in and out simultaneously. Just allow it to be going in and out from all directions. Doesn't have to come from front and go out in the back. Just pull it into your body and allow it to go out in the world. Now bring money in. Oh my God, everybody's contracted. No, don't contract. Just keep expanding. And bring money in and money out. More money in and some money out. Because what if universe is such an abundant place? And what if it's not? What if it is actually there? Just keep bringing money, keep bringing love, keep bringing joy, ease, everything you desire. Just keep bringing it. Bring more, even more. And don't stop. Just allow it to go in and out. It's a flow. And please don't judge how much you're pulling in and how much going out. Because as soon as you start judging it, guess what? You're stopping it. Anytime you judge anything, you stop the energy flow. If you judge you stop yourself from receiving. If you judge somebody else, you judge you from receiving. If you judge whatever, you stop yourself from receiving. Just allow yourself to be with everything. No barriers, and just be. How much your life would be different. And it's time for our third and last break in the show. And you've been listening to me, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. And you've been listening to Dr. Helen Gitlevich, me, on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is, who can I call? So let's play with our awareness, our kind of like the energy that we are, and what contribution can we be? Who can we call? What can we call? Especially when we are expanded. And how much more fun can we have with that? Don't make it serious. Because a lot of times when we make things serious, That's another box. That's another contraction. What if we don't have to contract? What if we can be constantly expanded? Even our body is much more than just this solid form, because our body has subtle bodies. It's aura, it's energy. There is a lot more to our bodies. And by the way, Access has amazing classes called 3-day body classes and body processes, that energy that can change anything in the body. And I'm facilitating actually a couple of classes in US because COVID, pock and pot, I cannot enter certain countries because of COVID-19 situation. And so, but I still can travel in the United States. So I'm still facilitating classes, and you can find out about those on my website, either Creating Abundance with Ease or helengitlevich.accessconsciousness.com. But the two classes that's coming up at the end of October, beginning November, are 2 body classes, one in Dallas and Texas, and one in Miami. So what if you can create more contribution with your body than you can possibly imagine? And what if you are magical and you can change anything, including diseases and any problems that you created in the body? And by the way, we create everything in our lives, in our bodies. Everything, including the problems. And especially if we decided we are problem solvers, we have to create problems. So with magic everywhere, we can use the tools of Access Consciousness or Akashic Records to change everything. And before we went on a break, we were doing the expansion and playing with the molecules. And what if that's that simple? What if it's that easy? Just to change a molecule or put your hands on the body, call up the energy, and it shifts things if we choose. It's so interesting how magical those body processes are. I've seen so many miracles, including that I had a woman who lost 2 sizes in 3 days of the body class. She had to use a belt to wear her pants, which was kind of fun. And choose more for you or schedule a consultation. Don't have to, because you are magical. You can just use the tools yourself. It's not about being dependent on the healers, being dependent on gurus. It's about being who you are and stop judging you. That's what I like about Access Consciousness or Akashic Records. It's about getting out of judgment, getting out of the boxes that we put ourselves in, and just contributing and receiving the contribution. Because the more judgment we have, the less we can receive, because anything that doesn't match that particular judgment will literally cannot enter our space. So if you have a judgment that certain thing is wrong, it immediately closes that avenue. Because a lot of people decided that money is evil. So can money enter their life as freely as they could have? And plus, if you judge something, everything has consciousness, by the way. Everything can hear you, can hear your thoughts. So if you call money evil or dirty, do you think money would like to come to somebody who is doing that to them, that judges them as evil and dirty? Usually money will go to somebody who's like, I love money. Money are good. Money are cute. Money are fun to have. And what if we actually look at everything that is fun, ease, joy, and glory? The mantra of Access, which I love, is all of life comes to me or comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. Let's do it all together. And by the way, all of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. It doesn't mean that everything is peachy. It's all of life. Everything that comes to us. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. Yeah, and just allow that energy to permeate everything. And as I said earlier, you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram. I right now have a wonderful Kim Dietrich writing a blog based on those shows that we're doing. So you can read that blog on my website. I think it's actually up, and it's going to be more episodes showing up there as a blog. And what else is possible? What can we create in the world if we actually be vulnerable and expanded and be present and aware and conscious? What if we can choose based on everything and anything that kind of like being, contribution, gifting and receiving simultaneously? And we have only a couple of minutes left in the show. So not last words, because next week we have another show coming up at 11 o'clock Central Time, 12 o'clock Eastern Time, and the rest of the time you can look up on the website. And you can also listen on the recording on my YouTube channel. I think it's also shared on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. And it's on a lot of podcast stations. So you can find, I don't remember my next week's show, which is kind of funny because I just filled out the information a couple of days ago. But oh well. That's actually one of the examples of not judging myself. What if you actually stop judging you? What if a judgment comes up? You look at it and say, oh, cute, not so bright. Again, without the judgment, okay, cool. It's an interesting point of view. I have this interesting point of view. And I just got a little hint. Next week's show is Lies or Dare. Do you remember the game Truth or Dare? This is going to be Lies or Dare. Let's see how much you dare to listen to the next week's show. And just tune in or not. It's all about your choice. This is about how much can I contribute to your life, or how much can you contribute to my life, and I can receive from you listening to my show and me doing it. So again, what if we be more on the contribution wavelengths of gifting and receiving simultaneously? And what if we put out into the world the gratitude, the love,
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.